Boxing. Boxing traces back to 3000 BC in ancient Egypt and Mesopotamia, with evidence and artwork showing fighters with wrapped hands. The Greeks featured it in the ancient Olympic Games around 688 BC as bare-knuckle combat. Fighters wrapped their hands in leather straps, and matches continued until one man submitted. The Romans turned it into brutal, gladiatorial sport, using metal-studded gloves called the cestus, often resulting in death. Modern boxing was born in 18th century England. The English codified rules, introduced padded gloves, and established weight classes. The Marquess of Queensberry rules in 1867 established modern boxing with timed rounds, mandatory gloves, counts for knockdowns, and prohibited wrestling. British colonialism spread boxing worldwide, transforming it from military training and entertainment into regulated sport. Centuries of competition refined punching technique, footwork, and defense. Boxing is one of the oldest striking arts, evolved from ancient combat into modern sport. Muay Thai. Muay Thai developed in Thailand over 2,000 years ago as hand-to-hand combat for Thai soldiers when weapons were lost in battle. The ancient form, Muay Boran, was more brutal and comprehensive, including headbutts, throws, and killing techniques. Kings of Siam trained in Muay Thai and promoted it, elevating its status. Buddhist monks taught it at temples alongside meditation, tying it to spirituality. Modern Muay Thai was codified in the 1920s and 1930s, introducing rules, rounds, weight classes, and boxing ring format. The eight limbs philosophy uses fists, elbows, knees, and shins as weapons, creating a complete striking system. It became Thailand's national sport, deeply tied to Thai identity. The art refined devastating clinch work, powerful kicks, and brutal elbow and knee strikes. Muay Thai evolved from ancient battlefield art into one of the most effective modern combat sports. Jiu-Jitsu, Brazilian. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu originated from Japanese Jiu-Jitsu, the samurai battlefield grappling art. In 1914, Judo master Mitsuyo Maeda brought Japanese techniques to Brazil. Carlos and Helio Gracie learned from Maeda and adapted the techniques. Helio was small and physically weak, so he refined techniques to use leverage over strength, focusing on ground fighting and submissions rather than throws. The Gracies proved effectiveness through Veil Tudo challenge matches, fighting anyone willing in no-rules contests. Royce Gracie shocked the martial arts world by dominating early UFC events using BJJ against larger strikers. This revolutionized understanding of fighting. Modern BJJ split into sport and self-defense versions, with point systems and rules emerging for competition. From Brazil, it spread worldwide and is now practiced everywhere. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu transformed Japanese grappling into a leverage-based ground fighting system that changed martial arts forever. Krav Maga. Krav Maga was created in the 1930s and 1940s by Emil Lichtenfeld in Czechoslovakia. Emil defended the Jewish community from fascist gangs in Bratislava, learning what worked in real street violence. When he moved to Israel, he developed the system for the Israeli Defense Forces. It was designed for soldiers with limited training time who needed fast, effective techniques. Krav Maga assumes real-world violence with no rules. It accounts for weapons, multiple attackers, and life-threatening scenarios. The system teaches brutal efficiency, including eye gouges, groin strikes, and throat attacks, all illegal in sport but necessary for survival. Civilian versions were later modified for self-defense with less militaristic focus. The system continuously evolves based on real-world conflicts and modern threats. Krav Maga spread globally, taught to military and law enforcement worldwide. It's a modern self-defense system born from street violence and military necessity, not tradition or sport. Wrestling. Wrestling is one of the oldest martial arts with evidence in 15,000-year-old cave paintings. Ancient Mesopotamia has the earliest recorded wrestling around 3000 BC. Wrestling was central to the ancient Greek Olympics and considered essential education for soldiers. Romans developed Greco-Roman style, prohibiting leg attacks and focusing on upper body only. Every culture developed wrestling independently. Persian, Turkish, Mongolian, and Native American civilizations all had distinct wrestling traditions. England developed catch wrestling, allowing submissions and pins. American universities created collegiate folk-style wrestling with distinct rules. In 1904, freestyle wrestling was introduced at the Olympics, allowing leg attacks and becoming the international standard. Wrestling has military heritage across all civilizations, used for hand-to-hand combat training. It's the oldest and most universal martial art, independently developed everywhere humans existed. No other martial art has such universal presence across cultures and time periods. Wrestling is humanity's original fighting system. Judo. Judo was created in 1882 by Jigoro Kano in Japan, with the founding of the Kodokan Judo School. Kano Kano studied multiple Jiu-Jitsu schools and combined the best techniques into a unified system. He removed dangerous techniques and focused on mutual welfare and benefit, shifting from pure combat to educational development. The philosophy emphasizes maximum efficiency with minimum effort. Jiu means gentle, using the opponent's force against them through leverage. Kano created the belt ranking system and structured curriculum for teaching, turning martial arts into organized education. Judo became an Olympic sport in the 1964 Tokyo Olympics, gaining international legitimacy. The art prioritizes throws and takedowns over submissions, though submissions are included. Kano's students spread Judo worldwide, making it an international sport. Competition rules shaped modern Judo, with some techniques banned for safety. Judo is a modern martial art created from ancient techniques, refined specifically for sport and education rather than battlefield application. Sambo was developed in the 1920s Soviet Union by Viktor Spiridonov and Vasily Oshchepkov. The Soviet Red Army commissioned development of a hand-to-hand combat system for military use. They combined Judo, wrestling, indigenous Russian fighting styles, and Central Asian grappling into one system. Sambo has two branches. Sport Sambo is jacket wrestling with submissions. Combat Sambo includes strikes and is used by Russian special forces. The development was harsh, tested in actual military conflicts, and refined through brutal, practical application. Sambo developed devastating leg lock techniques earlier than other grappling arts, giving it a unique submission game. Initially, Sambo was kept secret by the Soviet government as controlled military knowledge. After the USSR collapsed, Sambo spread internationally and heavily influenced MMA. It produced numerous elite fighters including Fedor Emelianenko and Khabib Nurmagomedov. Sambo is a Soviet military creation that combined the best techniques from multiple cultures into a practical and effective fighting system. MMA, mixed martial arts. The concept of mixed martial arts existed in ancient Greece with pankration, a no-holds-barred Olympic event combining striking and grappling. The modern rebirth came through Bruce Lee's Jeet Kune Do philosophy in the 1960s and 70s, promoting mixing styles and taking what works. Brazilian Vale Tudo fights showed style versus style matchups with minimal rules. In 1993, Art Davie and Rorion Gracie created the UFC to determine the most effective martial art. Early UFC had minimal rules, no weight classes, no rounds, pure style versus style. Royce Gracie won early tournaments, proving grappling superiority against strikers who had no ground defense. Fighters realized one style wasn't enough and began cross-training in multiple disciplines. The late 1990s and 2000s brought standardized unified rules, weight classes, rounds, and sanctioning as a legitimate sport. Modern MMA requires proficiency in striking, wrestling, submissions, and all fighting ranges. It's not a traditional martial art, but a synthesis of all martial arts. MMA constantly evolves as fighters find new techniques and strategies. It's the ultimate testing ground where only what actually works survives. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and activate the bell for more MMA-related content. Also, if you want to help support the channel, as well as take your martial arts to a new level, check out my ebook, which is a full practical guide for conditioning yourself as a martial artist. The link is in the video description below. Enjoy!